Okay, question 7. Recipe calls for 3 1/3 cup of flour. How much flour is needed to make 2.5 of the recipe? So we need 3 1/3 cups of flour for just one recipe. So they are asking you how many cups are needed for 2.5 recipe. So you would just multiply them, right? If you don't know, if you are unsure whether or not you're timesing or dividing or adding or subtracting, you can change them into easy numbers. Let's say we need 2 cups of flour for one recipe, and they ask me how many cups of flour do I need for example, just 3 recipe. So you should be able to say that, oh, well, for the first recipe, I need 2, second recipe, I need 2, and the third recipe, I also need 2. So you can say this is just 2 times 3. So if you are timesing with easy numbers, you will also be timesing with difficult numbers, like in this case. So all I need to do is just use 3 1/3 cups of flour for one recipe times 2.5 recipes. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10, so 10 over 3 times 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. We simplify before we multiply, divide this by 2 to get 1, divide this by 2 to get 5. So we get 25 over 3 cups of flour. I still need to change it back into into a mixed fraction. 3 times 4, 3 times 8 is 24. So we need 8 1/3 cups of flour. Question 8. Jet flew at an average of 630 miles per hour for 5 2/3 hours. So same idea if I tell you that you're driving or your parents are driving at 100 km per hour for 2 hours. So, what is the distance travel here? You would, once again, just times it, right? In the first hour, your parents travel 100 km. In the second hour, also 100 km. So we would just times it. So in total, we have traveled 200 km. So it's the same idea with more difficult numbers, 630 miles per hour and 5 2/3 hours. We are still timesing them. Okay, this number is getting a little bit big, so I'm just gonna type this into the calculator. 5 2/3. So I just type it in 630 times 5 2/3, and I get 3570, and this will be in km. Question 9. Emma work 6 3/4 hours per day for 4 2/3 days. How many hours did she work? So again, this will just be times 6 3/4 hours per day times 4 2/3 days. Change them into improper fraction. 6 times 4 is 24, plus 3 is 27, so 27/4 times 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. I simplify. Divide this by 3 to get 1, divide this by 3 to get 9, divide this by 2 to get 2, divide 14 by 2 to get 7. We get 63/2. 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 1 is 2. So we got 31.5 hours. Question 10. The weight of water is 62.5 pounds per cubic foot. What is the weight of 5 3/5 cubic foot of water? So same idea, we're just timesing here. So we have 62 and 1/2 times 5 and 3/5. Numbers are getting big. I'm just going to type this into the calculator. 62.5 times 5.6. We get 350 pounds. A car travel 11 and 2/3 km on 1 liter of gas. How far can the car travel for 4 and 1/5 liter of gas? So again, we're just timesing it. We change both of them into improper fraction. We should have 35/3. 11 times 3 is 33, plus 2 is 35. Times 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1 is 21. And then we simplify. Divided by 5 to get 1, divided by 5 to get 7, divided by 3 to get 1, divided by 3 to get 7. And we get 49. And this will be 49 km. Question 12. Degrees Celsius can be converted to degree Fahrenheit by multiplying by 1 and 4/5 and adding. So multiplying by 1 and 4/5 and adding 32. And then we just need to plug it in. So we plug in 15. They are asking you what is 15 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. This will be 15/1 times 5/4 plus 32. 15 times 5 is 75. So I have 75/4 plus 32. I can change 75/4 into a mixed fraction. 4 goes into 7 one time. 4 goes into 35 8 times. We get 18 and 3/4 plus 32. So we get 50 and 3/4 degree Fahrenheit. 13. Triangle has a height of, maybe I'll just sketch a triangle out. Triangle has a height of 6 and 3/4 and a base of 8 and 2/3. Find the area. The area is going to be base times height divided by 2. That's the area formula of a triangle, and you need to memorize it. Area of triangle equals to the base length times the height divided by 2. So 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 2 is 26. We have 26/3 times. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 3 is 27. And then dividing by 2 is the same as timesing by 1/2. Divided by 2 to get 1, divided by 2 to get 13. And divided by 3 to get 1, divided by 3 to get 9. So now we have 13 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. We get 117/4. So 117 divided by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 3. 4 times 9 is 36. So we get 29/1/4. And this will be in centimeters square, because this is in area, that's why it's in square unit. It's in centimeter because both the base and the height are in centimeter. 14. We have a box that measures 22 and 1/2 centimeter by 12 and 3/5 centimeter by 9 1/3 centimeter. What is the volume of the box? So the volume of any box will always be the length times the width times the height. And again, another formula that you need to memorize. So if you don't know this already, please remember to memorize them. So the volume here is length is 22.5, width is 12 and 3/5. And the height is 9 1/3. So pretty big numbers. Just gonna type this into the calculator. Right? If you don't know how to type it into the calculator, you need to go back to the previous video where I show you how to type it in. 9 and 1/3. And I got 2646, and this will be in centimeter to the power 3. So it's in cubic unit because this is volume. Volume will always be in cubic units. 15. We have a yard that measures 24 and 3/4 meters and 16 and 2/3 meters. Trisha wants her lawn to cover 2/3 of the yard. Okay. So just 2/3 needs to be covered. How many square meters is the lawn? So area of any rectangle is just going to be length times width. Again, another formula that you need to memorize. The length is 24 and 3/4. The width is 16 and 2/3. Because we only have 2/3 of the lawn, we can times this by 2/3. I mean 2/3 of the yard. Once again, pretty big numbers here. Just gonna use the calculator. So for most schools, usually when the numbers are getting big, you would be allowed to use a calculator. That's why I'm using my calculator for these questions. And I get 275 meters square. This is area. That's why we have a square unit. 16. Rectangular pool is 16 and 2/3 yard long and 8.5 yard wide. The rectangular pool, 16 and 2/3 yard long, 8.5 yard wide. If the average depth of the pool is 3 1/4, so this is 3 1/4 yard, and the pool is 3/4 full. Okay. So this is only 3/4 full. How many cubic yard of water are in the pool? So again, the volume of any rectangular box or prism, we just multiply them. Length times width times height. And because the water is only 3/4 full of the pool, so we can times it by 3/4. So big numbers, I use calculator. 16 and 2/3 times 8.5 times 3 1/4, and then times 3/4. And I get 3, 4, 5, and 5/16. And this will be in cubic yard. Okay, that's it for 1.3. I'll see you in 1.4.